here moderating this course, being taught by Candace Lord from the Green Cocoon. Before I give her the proper introduction, SPFA antitrust policy basically says we don't do any pricing talk. We can't talk about prices. We can't collude. We can't cheat. We can't steal from people outside of this room, basically, is what it comes down to. So no talking about those things. And if you do talk about it or you're concerned about somebody talking about it, bring it up. Like, say something, because it is kind of important. Candace has lived in North Shore, Mass. for most of her life. Currently lives in Kingston, New Hampshire. Has a bachelor's degree in foreign languages and linguistics from Northeastern University. She started at the Green Cocoon in 2011, running everything from the office to marketing and sales. However, she was promoted to vice president in 2018 and now focuses on sales and education. After 12 years of working for the Green Cocoon, she's accumulated a number of industry-specific certifications. Her company is one of a handful of SPFA accredited companies in her area. She's a BPI building analyst professional and an SPFA project manager, and enjoys learning about building science and regularly speaks at conventions and seminars for the public and builders. But she's a little nervous right now.
I'm absolutely
so give her a hand. Go ahead. Give her a hand. Let's go. Candace Lord is going to talk to you about sales training programs. Take it away, Candace.
Thank you. And I just want to say, if you have questions while I'm going, don't feel free to ask. You don't have to wait till the end. I really love more of a dialogue than me just speaking at you. So please feel free to talk to me. Makes me feel better. I'm not going to tell you how to make a sales training program. That's something that I would be happy to discuss with you after this seminar if you wanted some help with that. I'm going to tell you why it's really important and how it's going to benefit your company. When you create a system, you're forced to evaluate your current operating system and make necessary changes, because you can't teach somebody something that's broken. You have to fix it first, right? So you're uncovering deficiencies in your sales process. It forces you to get better at sales. It allows for growth in your operations and revenue. It builds trust between sales and operations. You get to accelerate the success of your new salesperson, because how many here have tried to train a salesperson? How many have been successful at it? Okay, that's less hands. Good. It makes me feel better. Yeah, it's something that we struggled in business as well. And so over the last year, we've put together, probably a year and a half, we've been piecing it together a couple hours at a time, because like you guys were busy, and we're not just going to sit down and spend 3 weeks coming up with this program. It's a slow process, but it's absolutely worth it. It also reduces training time and mistakes, which means you make more money. Right. First, it's really important that you have a vision and core values, understanding why you're in business, why you're doing what you do, so that you can hire the right people, so you can attract like-minded individuals. Your vision is 3 to 4 words that describe your beliefs. My company's vision is people, planet, performance. We call it the 3 Ps. That's why we're in business. And then your core values are 5 sentences that support your vision or your mission. So our core values are always be positive, believe in yourself, empower your team, make an impression that counts, and always do what you say you're going to do. And that's really important. This is how we hire. This is how we promote. This is in everything that we do as a company. This is really, really important. So if you don't have a vision or a vision statement, I recommend that you start working on that, because that's really powerful for your company. And then think about, why do you need another salesperson, right? Or maybe your schedule isn't full and you have crews of people that need to work, right? And one person can only do so much. Maybe your crews are really efficient. They're starting to get better and they're starting to finish jobs faster, and you need more jobs coming in. Maybe your current salesperson's overwhelmed. Or you're an owner-operator and you can't do it all yourself. How many here are owner-operators? How many of you want to grow your business? Right? So you can't do it all by yourself forever, and letting go of control is really, really difficult. I understand that, but it's something that has to happen if you want to grow your company. So what are you looking for when you're hiring, right? You just want to find somebody with sales experience, like, oh, you've done sales before, yeah, sure, great, We say that you should hire for attitude, not aptitude. Generally, someone who's been in sales their whole lives kind of isn't a good salesperson, because sometimes they're too salesy, or they're a little overconfident, and that doesn't build trust or rapport with your customers, right? So I would prefer to find somebody who has a really great attitude, somebody who's hardworking, somebody that's passionate about what they do, and then train them into sales, because sales is something that can be learned. Focus on the skill set of our industry. This is really, really important. You have to know how to use a computer. You have to be good at math. We all did high school math, right? And thought, when the hell am I ever gonna use this? Right? I'm never gonna use this, it's so stupid. And then I got this job, and I was like, oh my God, it's the Pythagorean theorem for gable walls. Like, you know, so it's important that the person that you're hiring understands math, science, basic construction, communication, and spatial awareness. Spatial awareness is huge. Can you visualize a house, like, in your mind? Can you explain something to somebody in a way that they'll understand, because you can really visualize it in your head? These are really, really important skills to look for in somebody that's going to be doing sales. And also somebody with a growth mindset, right? Because you always have to be pushing to do better in sales. It's not like you just learn your job and then you do it. There's always going to be growth in this business. You gotta have your ducks in a row, right? You have to have a standardized cost accounting form or method, and it has to be accurate, because you can't teach somebody how to bid a profitable job if you don't know if your jobs are profitable, right? So it takes time and patience and a really great Excel spreadsheet, but you can make a really great cost accounting form. We've been working on ours for 18 years. Same form, every 90 to 120 days it gets reviewed. You know, where is our production rate right now? Or, you know, we have, like, so I'm in the Northeast, so our yield is different summer and winter, because temperatures are different, expansion rates are different. So we tailor that to either a yearly average, or we change it through the season, so that I know when I'm speccing this job, it's most likely gonna be done in summer, and so my yield is gonna be a little better, so I can bring the price down, right? So it's really important. Revisit it and adjust that every 90 days to account for changes in material costs, overhead costs. Did you let 2 people go? Did you bring on 2 new employees? Your overhead has now changed. So it has to be revisited very regularly. Understand your cost accounting and how to manipulate it, right? Because not every job's the same. And it's not just a board foot price. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it. And does your estimated profit match up to your actual profit? So we pre-cost account and post-cost account every job that we do, and then we compare that quarterly with what we should have made to what we actually made. And if it doesn't match up, you need to revisit that sheet to try to make sure that it lines up. Because these are things that your salesperson is also going to have to know how to do, and if you don't have it organized, you're not going to be able to teach. It's like the blind leading the blind, right? So this is why I think it's really important that you have a structured program, because it's just going to make your business better to start, and then you can translate that to other salespeople. Know your products, know your building science, know your local codes, keep up with this stuff, and getting SPFA accredited is a huge benefit. I'm a certified project manager, and we have 2 master installers, 2 project managers, and we're certified as a company, and that sets you apart. So separate from a sales training program, just in terms of landing more work, when you tell people, hey, did you know our industry is unlicensed and unregulated, but we're one of the only accredited contractors in the area, I'll tell you right now, you'll land a lot more jobs. It's a huge benefit for both the experienced salesperson and somebody that you're training to get them SPFA accredited. Because the goal here is to be and create industry leaders. This is something that we say in my company a lot: delegate and appreciate. One of the hardest parts of growing is trust, is letting go of control. How many here have trouble letting other people do stuff? Yeah, you can all put your hands up, and just everybody, right? My business partner is sitting right here, and that was something that he struggled with a lot in the beginning, was like, I'll just do it myself, because I know it'll get done right. I'll just do it myself. But you can't do everything yourself, and so you really have to learn to kind of let go a little bit. The other thing, so these are my personal sales numbers for the 4th quarter 2022, all residential. When we first started training an actual salesperson with the program I had built. Maybe you don't need a salesperson, maybe you're just training an assistant. Because while they're shadowing, they're driving you around. So I had the salesperson drive, and I put on my hotspot, and I had my laptop in the car, and I got office time in between looking at every single job. So not only are they learning slowly as they go, it's like a low pressure training, because it's not like you have to learn this right now and you need to know this in 60 days, and they just kind of can pick it up as they go, but you get more time to do the things that you do. Because I don't know about you guys, but what do I drive, like 30,000 miles a year looking at jobs? Like all those miles, unless you're texting and driving, which you shouldn't be doing, okay? You're not getting anything done. And then I'm like, oh, I'll make phone calls. And then I'm like, no, I won't, because then I'll forget what we talked about, and I can't write it down, and I'll just wait till I get back to the office. And then you get back to the office, and it's like 4, and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, see, this guy, he's like, preach, sister, right? So the top numbers were my monthly and my quarter total before I had a sales assistant, before I was training somebody. And then that was my 3-year average. And this was the very first year that I hired an assistant. She had no sales experience, she had no building experience, absolutely no experience in anything. She's like 25, I like to hire women, I think women are badasses. Look at those numbers. That's incredible. And she's not even a salesperson. She didn't land a single job. All she did was drive me around. But in that process, I taught her how to do bids. I taught her how to cost account. I said, do the bid, don't send it, just do the bid. So then I'd get bids done, and I could just do a couple quick things and send them out, and I was able to pump out, 25, 30 bids a week, because now I had somebody to help me, right? So even if you don't necessarily train somebody to send them out right away on their own, you can think about training people just to assist you, like a personal assistant. Listen, having a chauffeur, pretty good, okay? I love it. How long should it take? Well, that depends. It depends on how organized your program is. It depends on what you're looking to produce. Do you want an assistant? Do you want a building science expert? Because, ultimately I want to duplicate myself. I want somebody that can do this. I want somebody that really understands the building science. So that's gonna take, probably a couple of years, but you have to invest that time into something. Now you can get somebody out and running. I would say my goal is always about 90 days. Can I get somebody comfortable to step onto a construction site, measure it effectively, and put out a qualified proposal? About 90 days. The right person, anyway. What's your comfort level? How much are you willing to let go? Because if you're still holding on tight, it's gonna take a little bit longer, right? But I think the more that you can invest yourself in that person and really delegate and appreciate. So evaluations and feedback are a huge part of this program. We have written exams and answer keys. So when they come in, I give them a basic entry exam just to see what they know. Do they know the components of a house? I have a cutout of a section from a set of plans, and it's like I have a list of roof rafters, roof pitch, gables, sill plates, whatever, frost walls. It's like 20 items, and you just kind of label it. How much do they know? What is our value? They might not know any of it, and that's fine, but at least you get kind of a starting point, and then every 30 days there's another exam, and they get continuously more difficult, more complex, and then the final exam is all of the exams again. They redo them all, written exams, and then they get sent out in the field, and I'll call a good contractor of mine and say, hey, I'm gonna send this girl out, she's gonna measure it, don't be mean, don't talk to her, don't give her any information. And then I go back afterwards and I remeasure it and we compare bids, right?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
All right, so what you're talking is, it sounds like it's very, very hands-on, on-the-job training type of training. So in that 9 days, would you recommend that salesperson actually go and get that building science certification, or is it enough to get all the information from simply watching you from that day-to-day operation of doing the bids?
That's a good question. Yeah, we wouldn't send somebody out to do any kind of actual building science certifications until they've been with the company for a while, because those are expensive, and I think it's something, it's a big investment, and I also think it's something that they can look forward to, hey, when you hit the year mark, we're gonna send you out and we're gonna get you BPI certified. And when you hit the 2-year mark, we're gonna send you to Vegas, to SPFA, to get accredited. Those are things people can look forward to, and I think it's almost like a bonus for them. So I don't like to give too much too fast. I like to let people earn those things. But yeah, we do, and I think I do talk about this in here, but shadow, and then one day a week they go in the field with the guys. And they have to scrape, and they have to prep, and they watch, and we have a little sheet that has like 10 or 15 questions that they ask the crew at the end of every day or while the crew's working, and they come back and in our Monday sales meeting, they present the answers to those questions. And it just gets their mind turning, because I could go in and bid a job and go, yeah, no problem, yeah, we'll do that, perfect, awesome. Because I've never sprayed foam, well, I mean I have, but let's just say I hadn't sprayed foam, right? How do you know how long it's gonna take? How do you know, like, how many hours to add on for exposed beams that need to be prepped? How do you know, like, those aren't 8-foot walls, those are 12-foot walls. Now the guy's like, stand the ladder, and then move the ladder, and then standing up the ladder. So they have to see these things to be able to understand them. So really, really important to kind of have a balance. Also, plug for Robert, his videos are fantastic, and his building science videos are part of our training program. So I took the time to watch all of the videos and write really important questions and an answer key, and so I give them the packet, and on their own time or office time, they have like 4 weeks to go through all of the videos and answer all of the questions and hand that in, and that's like another assignment or like another test that they have to have completed. So his videos are a huge resource for my training program, and your sales videos and all that stuff, we use all that, so plug for you, bro. You can track their strengths and weaknesses. Like, maybe they're really good with math and you don't need to focus on that. Maybe they're not good talking to people, you know? Maybe they're not really computer savvy. They understand what they're doing, they can measure just fine, they get to the computer and they're like, okay, I don't really, you know, then you can focus your time there. So you're not just kind of spinning your wheels, but you can have a more focused program. Your trainees will know where they stand through evaluations and testing, and will be able to change their focus to areas that need improvement. And you can celebrate the wins as they learn and improve, you know, company culture, building people up. Like, hey, great job on that. You got through that bid really fast. This is fantastic. Like, you can even do little bonus programs. You can incentivize them as they learn. Like, there's so many things that you can do. And standardized and consistent evaluations allow for transparency and understanding. Like, hey, this is the exam, and instead of just feeling like they're not doing a good job or having this thing like, I don't really think they're gonna work out, we all know that feeling, right? You can actually have it on paper. And you can say, hey, clearly this is a struggle for you, let's focus on this. Or hey, I don't think this is the right position for you. And you have it in writing, it's not just a feeling. We have monthly expectations. We have a 3-part system, interactive training that requires shadowing and field time, and standard book learning and videos, and worksheets in the field that I talked to you guys about. So this is kind of a basic 12-week program. This is like a good outline. This is what we do, but then each one of these has way more in it, right? So week 1, basic construction. I give them that sheet, we're walking through jobs. That first week I focus on, these are roof rafters. Some people don't know. When I started in this business, I had no idea what any of this was. I was like a, you know, typical girl. Like, oh, it's like wood, you know? So, it's true, I was. So.
Incidentally, you're doing a very good job.
Thank you. I do presentations a lot. We've never done this one, so this is exciting for me. Because I'm living this right now. I'm training people right now. So this is really exciting because I'm really passionate about this, because I believe that this has made us better as a company, and I think it can really benefit everybody else too. So week 1, we walk around, and while I'm talking to the customer, I take a little extra time on each job, and I say, these are roof rafters, these are sill plates. I don't just say, hey, we're gonna put baffles at the eaves. I walk them over to the eaves, and I say, see this? There's air coming through there. It communicates with that. We have to block it with these things. These are called soffits, sometimes called eaves, you know? So we walk through the first week, and that's my focus. I'm not giving them too much building science stuff. I'm not going crazy with our value requirements. I work in 3 states because we're kind of in this little trifecta area, and each state has different R value requirements. So it's a lot, right? Week 2, how to measure a job. How to use a laser measurer. You know, length times width. What's a perimeter measurement versus an area measurement? How do you get the area of a triangle? You know, your gables, your roofs. Can you get the ridge to soffit length, or do we need to multiply by pitch? Like, these are things that they learn week 2. Weeks 3 and 4, how to put together a proposal. How many here use like QuickBooks? Right? Okay, so we use QuickBooks. So how to use QuickBooks, how to create a customer. And then for each of these, I've also gone through and created a template. Step 1, click the new customer button in QuickBooks. Step 2, enter the customer's name, email, whatever. If it's a contractor, make the contractor first and then go in and there's a whole subset, make a subcontractor. It sounds like a pain in the butt, but you get this and you can literally hand it to them and they can just do it. Or then as they're doing it, they can have that up on the screen and they can go through it as many times as they need to with that open until they feel comfortable doing it on their own. So each piece has a whole written section. And then we have a whole resource folder for them that has roof pitch calculators, that has basic building science videos, that has a cheat sheet for when you're out in the field, what you should be looking for. Don't forget roof pitch, don't forget to look for overhangs, don't forget, so that they can get comfortable. So this could take a year to put this program together, but if you dedicate a couple of hours a week, just think about like the wheels that it gets turning for you as a business owner. Like, oh yeah, I would like to have a sheet like that, or oh, I have been thinking about doing something like that, and it makes you better at your job. We do 4 weeks of building science, because building science is like really important. Not just, I'm gonna put this insulation in there, but why am I doing that? And then to be able to reiterate that to the customer. Because what sets you apart as a really good contractor, as a really good spray foamer, is that you understand your product and why you're applying it, and not just, yeah, well the code's 20 walls, so we're just gonna spray 20. Well, they're like, well, what's the difference between open cell and closed cell? And well, this one needs a vapor barrier, why does it need a vapor barrier? And to be able to explain that to customers in a way that they can understand really builds rapport and trust with your customers. So I need my salespeople, that's like the biggest thing for me. If you can't get the building science piece, this isn't gonna work, where I'm working. Weeks 9 and 10, I teach them how to read architectural plans. So we use Bluebeam Review, and I have a whole, again, open Bluebeam for perimeter measurements, and I took a little screenshot of the perimeter and I put that in and I said it's located in the top right corner. Here's a little picture of what it looks like. Your perimeter measurements are going to be used for this, 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 and this. And I have a whole 3 or 4 page on how to, it was absolutely exhausting to write that one. That was the one I hated the most. And you teach them how to read architectural plans. And then week 11, we do basic sales techniques. I'm not salesy. I don't really like to teach sales, but I think it's important for them to at least feel comfortable, so they watch your sales training video. So in summary, you need to know your needs. You need to know your needs, what you need as a company, what the customers in your area need, so that you can communicate that to the person that you're going to train. You need to know your product and your process. What is your process for measuring? Do you have one, or do you just walk in and go bang, 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 and I'm out? You know, writing down the process is going to make you better at measuring, because it's going to make you pay more attention to details, because what are the things that they need to be looking for as somebody who doesn't know how to measure, right? And then ownership. You're training them to be a part of the team and have a growth mindset and take ownership, because we don't just want employees, we want to build teams. And when you can teach somebody how to do something in a way that makes them really confident and really feel like you believe in them and that you're like empowering them to like help you grow your company, that's the kind of employees that ultimately you're looking for, right? We're looking to build teams. So I'd love to talk to you guys after if anybody has any questions, or if you are looking to actually build a program and you want some help. I'm happy to share like any of my resources with you guys. I think as an industry, we need to like work together more instead of feeling like competition. So I'm happy to share any and all of that information with you guys. So, do you have any questions?